It's the time of the year where the yearly Yakuza game comes out, because at this point Yakuza is a yearly franchise. Even though I don't talk much about it because it's there are channels that are geared towards Yakuza that talk only about Yakuza, and those are the only ones who get the views when it comes to these games. But I talk about it every now and then because I was one of the few people who played the first Yakuza as soon as it released. So I always liked the franchise. It's just that after that, I fell off the wagon because Sega took too much time to release Yakuza 2 in the West, and then not having played Yakuza 2, I didn't feel comfortable playing Yakuza 3, and so yeah, I stopped playing the games, only to reprise a few years ago with Zero, and then replaying the Kiwami stuff. So yeah, it's a franchise I always liked, especially when I was a Sega fanboy. And now, yeah, there's the early Yakuza. Last year was with the Majima Pirate in Hawaii, and the year before that it was Yakuza 8, which yeah, at this point the franchise is divided between two types of gameplay: the action RPG, I mean the standard brawler, 3D brawler with the classic games, and then the uh, turn-based combat of the newer games, starting from 7 and then 8. Uh, Useless to say, I don't like turn-based combat. I'm exclusively a fan of the classic Yakuzas that play they play like a casualized version of Shenmue. Yeah, that's pretty much what I like in these games. Because Yakuza, as you already know, is it's like they took Shenmue's concept and said, okay, let's make it more casual friendly, more, not really casual, but more immediate, more catered towards the general audience. And it's not always a bad thing because honestly, Shenmue is not for everybody. It's a very slow paced game, while Yakuza gets you into the middle of action pretty quickly. So, and yeah, this year there's this one, the Yakuza 3 remake, because at this point the Yakuza series is doing what Resident Evil is doing, what Capcom is doing with Resident Evil. They are split between new games and remaking the classic games. And still, another similarity with Resident Evil and Capcom is that they are really not making the older games available anywhere. I mean, you can say Yakuza 3, 4, and 5 remastered. Yes. I'm referring mostly to Yakuza 1 and 2 original, though. Those are not playable anywhere, or at least when it comes to modern hardware. And yeah, they've been at the center of some controversy due to the fact that they are somewhat delisting the classic Yakuza 3, Yakuza 3 remastered. And yeah, they've only included it in the big package, which I don't remember how it's called, but it includes all the games. And yeah, you have to buy all the games with that package to buy a classic Yakuza 3 remastered, which is kind of nuts. Yeah, it's a weird choice, honestly. People who are not interested in Yakuza 3 are not gonna buy like the package, and people who weren't gonna buy Kiwami 3, it's not like people are not gonna buy Kiwami 3 because they want to play the classic Yakuza 3. It's uh, I don't think it makes much sense to delist a game that's almost 20 years old at this point, and the modern audience really doesn't really want to play for the most part, because I don't think Yakuza 3 is very casual friendly, let's say. I played it a few years ago, and yeah, although I have enjoyed it, I think classic Yakuza 3 is probably the worst. One of the, at least the ones I've played. I stopped at three. So from zero, one, two, and three, three is probably the worst. In terms of story, it's definitely the worst in my opinion. In terms of combat, is it's the combat is okay, but it feels a bit too stiff. The characters feel a bit too stiff. It's impactful, feels good to eat things, but the movement is just a bit too stiff in my opinion in Yakuza 3, and that kind of ruins the combat partially. And I mean also the blocking, but yeah, you can get around blocking, enemies blocking, but the stiffness of the movement, not so much. So all this to say, I've played the demo, and I mean, it's at this point, all these Yakuza games kind of feel samey. They're using all recycled assets because, of course, they have to come out once a year. Same engine. So this one plays very similar to the previous ones, especially to the last one last year, Pirate in Hawaii. Uh, you can say the combat, which is probably the biggest takeaway you can take from the demo, because there's not much else to do in the demo other than some, like the golf and visiting restaurants, but it's kind of boring. As far as I've seen, the arcades are not available in the demo, so it's only, yeah, you play the demo for the combat. The combat feels okay, but I don't know. It's a little bit too automated for my taste, especially the, like, the directional inputs. There's some kind of magnetism in this one as well. I think it was the same with the pirate in Hawaii. Yeah, it's probably a thing for the latest games. It's, I mean, it's that doesn't ruin the game, but it feels a bit too automated at times. But the thing I don't like the most is probably the combat itself, in the sense that it doesn't feel very impactful. Like, yes, like fighting is okay, it's fun, but just when you hit things, I don't know, it just feels kind of dull. The sounds, the feedback doesn't feel very good. So yeah, yeah, I will buy mostly this game for the combat, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna buy it day one. Also because the Yakuza games drop in price very quickly. Like, you can buy the pirate one that came out last year for like $15 already. So yeah, they value very quickly, and I mean they're good games. Granted, they're not for everybody. It's definitely an acquired taste, you can say. Also because they, like I said, they feel very samey between each other. But if you like one, you're gonna like all of them for the most part. So I think you should play the demo, but I don't know if I'm gonna buy it day one. Also because in February there's Resident Evil 9, so we'll see. If it's not too much, if it's not too expensive, maybe I'll buy it. And what else to say? Yeah, there has been some controversies with this particular entry, because they have casted some guy who abused. I think I understand. That's what I understood. Some guy that has abused a woman, in the cast, like the guy who plays Rikia in this game, I think. And yeah, there's been hashtags and so on to remove him from the game. Honestly, I don't care much about the stuff. It's it's whatever. If I'm gonna buy the game, or whether I'm gonna buy or not the game, it doesn't stand. It doesn't hinge on that thing. I don't care that much, honestly. But yeah, we'll see if I buy it. But overall, it feels like the classic Yakuza. If you like one, you're gonna like most of them. And there was nothing that was ultra bad that made me dislike this demo. It's more or less on the same level as the pirate one. If you enjoyed that one, you're gonna enjoy this one as well. One last thing to say about the franchise is that lately they've been retconning quite a lot of stuff, quite a lot of deaths I've seen, and there's gonna be another big retcon in this game from the leaks that have come out in terms of deaths. What do I feel about it? Honestly, I think when it comes to these stories, I think having characters die is okay, but the problem with Yakuza, which is funny because it's also, in my opinion, a problem with another franchise that has had a game made by the Yakuza studio, which is Fist of the North Star, is that too many important characters die in these franchises, and the problem is that when all your co-cast, your co-stars die, your primary characters die, most of them at least, it's gonna become harder and harder to justify making sequels. So I think having some deaths is okay, but don't have everybody die because yeah, like in the end it's gonna become complicated to continue the story. And yeah, you'll have studios making stupid stuff like the Yakuza team is doing with resurrecting a lot of the characters, which of course it's gonna cheapen the story if you start resurrecting everybody, because then when that in a story when that loses its importance, its significance, yeah, you make someone die and then people are gonna think you're gonna resurrect them in the next game. So just don't overuse that as a plot device to increase the stakes, because it's a double-edged sword. But yeah, I don't know. You let me know, guys, what what your thoughts are about this game, if you care, if you're gonna play it, or if you like the Yakuza series. And I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.